I'd like to add that in the private sector as well, people, if they are not performing at their job, get demoted. And with that demotion comes a pay cut. And that's not even related to being in a commission position. That's just in a regular position as well. Representative Omar.
I think a commissioned position is very different than what we are discussing today.
Representative Omar, I mentioned the fact that it's not just limited to commission. It's also for anybody that is demoted. So you can be in a regular job, not part of a commission situation, but if you're failing to perform, you'll get demoted and then you get a pay cut with it. So I just want to make sure that that's clear.
This opening moment quietly exposes a reality that millions of working people already understand but rarely hear acknowledged in policy discussions. Representative O'Neill explains that compensation in the private sector is contingent on performance and accountability. When performance drops, consequences often follow, and emotion frequently includes a reduction in pay. This isn't about punishment or cruelty. It's about aligning compensation, output, and role. What makes this clip powerful is its calm tone. There is no drama, no exaggeration, just a straightforward account of how the majority of businesses survive. For viewers who have worked outside government systems, this feels obvious, but the reaction to it suggests that this obvious reality is not universally understood at the policy level. Chair, many thanks.
Chair, Representative O'Neill, I'm just wondering, are there... As a union member for a long time, and I've also gotten an opportunity to work in the private sector. And I'm curious to know if you know of any employer that has a provision where they decrease pay for employees. I find that a little strange, and so I just wanted to know where that thought comes from, and if you know where an employer gets.
In this segment, Representative Omar expresses surprise at the idea that an employer would reduce an employee's pay, calling it unusual. The moment stands out not because it's hostile, but because it highlights a clear difference in lived experience for many workers, especially those in small businesses, trade, sales, or performance-based roles. It is normal for income to fluctuate. Pay isn't guaranteed to rise forever, and raises don't happen by accident. This question unintentionally reveals how insulated certain positions can be from market realities. The clip doesn't accuse or insult. The contrast simply stands out on its own. For viewers, this becomes a moment of recognition. Wait, hasn't this happened to me?
If you know where an employee gets their pay decreased.
Representative O'Neill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, I was a business owner. I recently sold my share, so I don't own it anymore. But there are plenty of businesses out there, especially those that depend on employees' productivity. Like I was in the trades. So I owned a company that was a tile setting company. And if we didn't get out there and do the work, and if I didn't have highly productive employees, they were paid based on their productivity. So if they had issues, it is very possible that their pay would reflect those issues. If they were on probation for something, for some sort of violation, that could be coordinated with a pay reduction. It's something that businesses do.
Here, the conversation shifts from theory to experience. In particular for the trades, O'Neill explains how compensation works in a productivity-driven environment. When output slows, quality drops, or standards aren't met, pay can reflect those issues. Importantly, she presents pay cuts as a corrective measure and frequently as a warning prior to termination. This reframes the entire debate. Reduced pay becomes a tool for accountability and improvement rather than being unfair. It's a way to signal expectations without immediately ending someone's livelihood. Anyone who has managed employees, run a business, or worked in a results-based field will understand this explanation.
All the time. And it could be the step before someone is actually fired. So it's an important thing, and it gets people's attention, when they see it in their paycheck that their performance does not meet the standard.
Representative Omar.
Hudson, I think did you have some things?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Hudson? Was there a question for Mr. Hudson?
No, I think he was saying that he wanted to add something, so I didn't know if he had something to add.
Mr. Hudson, is there a response to the question? Do you have a response to that question?
Madam Chair, yes,
Are you
ma'am.
saying that you aren't aware of any businesses that decrease pay? Because that was the question.
Madam Chair, I think what Chair O'Neill perhaps could be referring.
This clip directly addresses the misunderstanding at the heart of the discussion. The clarification is important despite being simple. Pay reduction is not limited to commission-based jobs. In many regular positions, when someone is demoted due to performance or behavior, their pay adjusts to match the new role. This isn't unusual. It's structural. Businesses rely on this system to maintain fairness between employees and sustainability for the organization. Without it, there would be no incentive to meet standards or improve performance. This clip quietly dismantles the idea that income should only ever move in one direction, regardless of output.
There are some instances where the pay structure is different. So for an example, she had indicated that she had come out of the towel industry. I'm not sure if these were commission employees who may have been on like an 80-20 split. In that instance, there is a situation where a pay might be reduced. Or if we have a supervisor who perhaps had a performance improvement issue or a behavioral concern, and we demoted this supervisor, that is an instance where pay might be decreased. But just an employee who has not been under some sort of performance improvement program having their pay reduced, I've never heard of that.
Oh, Mr. Hudson, I think Representative Neal knows exactly what she says. And I think we've had a little conversation back here when the question was asked. I know Representative Uglem, do you want to speak to that point?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Omar, if you happen to be a salesman in this world